All right, so we're learning Parashat Baalotcha. Start off with the Parsha of the Chumash, Baalotcha Tanerot. It's talking about the commandment of lighting the candles in the Holy Temple. Now, interestingly enough, if you look over in Parshas Truma, which is in Shmos, in Exodus, so you'll see how the menorah was made, and here it hints at it also, that Moshe didn't know exactly how to do it, and he was questioning how to do it. And so God said, you just do a little bit, you throw it into the fire here, and I'll even read it to you. You throw it into the fire, this gold, and it'll come out a unfinished menorah. Here, let's have a look over here. Have a look over here in Parshas Truma. Hey, chapter 25, sentence number, which one is it? 30. Here it is, 32. 32. It says you should make a menorah from gold, make it of one piece, and make on it cups. Then the next sentence it says 6 branches will go out, 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, etc. So Rashi says over here that the menorah has to be made from one piece. It has to be made from one piece, because it should not be made from like sticking pieces together. It has to be made from one piece. That's what it says, miksha. So it says, Kain ta'aseh menorah me'aleha, that the menorah, it's hinted at also here. We'll read the sentence in a moment. The menorah was made on its own. Why Moshe had a question about it, and God said, don't worry, just throw the block of gold into the fire and it'll be made on its own. That's what it says, Kain te'aseh menorah. That's what it means, that it should be made te'aseh menorah. That's the pasuk. We're now in chapter, you don't have to go there if you don't want to, but we're in the book of Exodus, chapter 25, sentence number 31. So it says, Asisa menorah miksha te'aseh menorah. The menorah should be made. And it's very interesting that people refuse. If you look down on Rashi, it says that clearly that the branches come out al-alachsan. The branches come out on a slant. And the Rambam also says it comes out on a slant. And he even drew a picture. The Rambam drew a picture, and Rambam's son said that this picture is valid. And nevertheless, despite everything, everybody makes like this. Even in the Chumash itself, it says clearly it's supposed to be that they're supposed to be slanted, they're supposed to be straight. And here, can you see this picture? They're all curved. For some reason, everybody makes it curved, and the Rebbe dealt with that. Very interesting. The Rebbe dealt with that, and he said, where in the world did people get this idea that it's supposed to be curved? There is no source whatsoever anywhere, or it's in the picture, no source anywhere in any Jewish book that says that the arms that came out were curved. Nowhere. There is one opinion of the Kli Yakar, but he doesn't say that they were curved like this. He says that they were like spiraled, like the circulation of the planets. So the Rebbe said that the only real source of this was the picture of Titus carrying the menorah, and this picture is engraved on the gate of victory that when the Romans destroyed the second temple. So the Rebbe said it's not. He gave all sorts of reasons why this is not valid, and in any case, it's from a non-Jewish source. I mean, Rashi and those others certainly knew about this, and they didn't say. Okay, so in this week's Torah portion, there are 5 commandments, and interestingly, none of them have to do with the lighting of the candles. There are 2 commandments well, actually, 3 commandments relating to the Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni. 3 commandments. 4 commandments. 4 commandments dealing with Pesach Sheni, which we're going to learn next time. Today we'll learn about the lighting of the menorah. In this week's Torah, what'd you say? Bahalotcha, right? Bahalotcha et hanerot.
In America, I think in the diaspora,
Oh yes, that's right. Yes.
They're doing Nassau.
Yes, you people in the diaspora are doing Parshas Naso.
No, but it's fun. This is my bar mitzvah pasha, so I'm happy.
Good. So we'll have to tell everybody in the whole entire diaspora, that this is Abraham's bar mitzvah portion, and that's why we're going to learn it today.
Good.
Not that we don't care about you. We love you all, but Abraham is here and you're not. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's learn about, for you, all of you in Israel, and we hope Mashiach will come and transport all of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. Ignore the laws of Corona. He'll have to, of course, get by all these governors and things like that. And there's a big problem with the airlines, but he'll do it. He can do it. That's why it says they'll come on clouds, maybe, because they'll be on clouds, because there won't be any airplanes available. All the airplanes are closed down because of the corona. But the skies are free. The skies are open for all the Jews to come to the land of Israel. And when you come here, you will be learning with us Parshat Ba'alotcha. So Parshat Ba'alotcha, there are many very interesting things that are here, but one of them is the commandment of Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni means that anyone who did not manage to make the first Passover is such an important commandment, that anyone who did not bring the first Passover offering in Judaism, he's sort of denying his Judaism. It's the only positive commandment that's punishable by death from heaven. Koret. Positive commandment. That and Brit Milah, circumcision. But Brit Milah is if a person didn't circumcise, or he was not circumcised and he refuses to circumcise himself, so he can make it up until one day before he dies. So he's not, but Pesach offering, as soon as that second Passover ends and you don't bring it, it's bad punishment. So therefore, because Passover is the declaration of our freedom from any of the forces of the world, the Jewish people went out of Egypt, they went out of all nature. So therefore, it's very important. And a person that didn't make it, so God gives him a second chance. So here we have in this week's Torah portion, 5 commandments, and 4 of them deal with the Pesach offering. And I'll just tell you what they are. Number 1, there is a positive commandment that one who is impure, because he can't touch the dead body or whatever, or he is far away, or didn't know it was Passover, or didn't know he had to bring an offering, or was put in jail, who knows what, and he didn't make the first Passover, he can make the second Passover. And there are a lot of laws involved with this. For instance, if the majority of the Jewish people are impure or they miss the Pesach offering, then they don't make, they're impure, then they can make it on the first Passover. Interesting laws. Number 2, the second Passover is not exactly the same thing as the first Passover, because you are allowed on the second Passover to eat regular bread. Can't bring it into the Holy Temple, but you can eat it at home. You can eat it, you can possess it. It's a positive commandment to eat the meat of this second Passover offering. And you have to eat it 1 month after the first Passover. First Passover is the 15th of Nisan, and this is the 15th of the month of Iyar. You should eat it together with matzah and with morer. Second commandment. First commandment is to make the Pesach offering. The second Passover, to make it, bring it to the Holy Temple. By the way, it's either a goat or a sheep, either whichever you want, goat or a sheep. And of course, it has to be without blemish. Second commandment is to eat it together with matzah and moror. Third commandment, a negative commandment. Don't leave over any of the meat until the morning. Don't leave over in the morning. You have leftover, burn it. And another negative commandment, do not break a bone of the Pesach Sheni offering, the second Passover. The same thing with the first Passover. The second Passover also, you're not allowed to break a bone of it. That's 4 of the commandments. Then there's a 5th commandment in this week's portion, Torah reading, and that is to sound the trumpets, chatzotzrot. You have to sound the trumpets whenever there were sacrifices that were made. You have to make a trumpet sound. This is not the shofar. This is trumpets. There were trumpets in the Holy Temple. And now we're going to learn a little bit about that. All right, so let's learn about, for those people outside of Israel, that is Parshas Nosoi, you can go back and see the videos that we made last week. See the videos we made last week. And this will also be a preparation for your next week. Or like I said before, the best way to do it is come to Israel and be with us. Come to Kfar Chabad. You can learn in Yeshiva Ohr Tmimim for a trial period. Let's go. Parshas Baalotcha. Vayedaber Hashem el Moshe le'emor. God said to Moshe to give over to the Jewish people. Daber el Aaron, speak to Aaron. In other words, Moshe should tell the Jewish people that God told him to speak to Aaron, and to say to him. What should he say to Aaron? When you raise up the nerot, el mul panei menorah, you raise them when they shine to the face of the menorah. This is going to mean the middle one. Ye'iru shivat nerot, there should shine these 7 candles. Okay, what's going on? The menorah was made, I don't know, can you see this? Well, let's see. Can you see it? Should I try this? I'll try it again. Let's see if it'll work. Does it see? Can you see it? This is the picture of the menorah. See? There's the 7. And if you look on the top, there's a picture over here. There we go. You can see there are cups. And the flame is on the inside of these cups. And on the inside of these cups. And as the flames are pointing, are on the side of the middle cup. Both of them are in the middle cup. See? And that's what it means, that the flame should be facing the middle. Okay, why was this done? Why was it so important? You'll see. Rashi will explain. Rashi will explain this. So let's do Rashi. Good? With me, everyone? Lama nismacha parshat ha-menorah la parshat ha-nasim. Last week, we finished learning about how the heads of each of the tribes, 12 chiefs of each of the 12 tribes, brought offerings to the Holy Temple. Why is this the laws of the menorah, lighting of the menorah right after that? What's got to do one to the other? It says, Lefi kishero Aaron Chanukat Anasim. When Aaron saw that all of the heads of the 12 tribes were bringing offerings on the first 12 days that the tabernacle was open, so chalsha az dato, because he became, how do you want to say, very depressed, disappointed, tremendously disappointed. Why? Because each one of the 12 tribes, they brought offerings to inaugurate the temple, to help in the inauguration of the temple. Each of the 12 tribes, and Levi was not one of the 12 tribes. You remember Yosef got 2 portions, Menashe and Ephraim. So that made up the 12 tribes, and Levi wasn't considered to be in with all the others. So Aaron who that's the Kohanim and the Levites. So he felt very bad. He said, "Why we want to bring offerings to the temple? Why are we alive? We'll learn this in Pirkei Avos. Why are we alive? Just to serve God. What's the holy temple here for? To know how to serve God, right? I'm not interested in what I get. I want to give." And God said, "Sorry, that's it. 12 tribes brought." So Aaron felt very bad. He was not with them in the inauguration of the temple. There wasn't even a representative from the tribe of Levi. God said to him, "Chayecha, by your life, shelcha gadola mishalhem." Chayecha is another way of saying is, don't worry. What you're going to bring now is going to be greater than theirs. That you bring the candles, candelabra, you're going to light them. That's greater. So the Ramban, the famous Ramban, as he asked, how is that greater? How is it greater? I mean, he didn't bring any offerings. They all brought offerings. And so he lit the candles. It's also nice. Why? It's equal. Say it's equal. It's something else. Why is it greater? So he says, because very simple. When the temple was destroyed, as you can't bring offerings anymore, but you can still light the candles. Where do you light the candles? Hanukkah. Every year, once a year, they light the candles of Hanukkah. And the candles of Hanukkah, that's a representation. And in fact, taking the place of what went on in the Holy Temple every day. And the sacrifices, we don't have any representation of that. I mean, we have prayer nowadays, but it's not the same thing. Okay, what is this strange language? Moshe says to Aaron, when you light the candles, but it doesn't say when you light. It says when you bring them up, we should raise them up. Raise up the candles. What do you mean, raise up the candles? What does that mean? What does it mean, raise? Say light. Say ignite. What does it mean to raise up? So Rashi says, Al Shem Sha'alahav, because this the flame, Ola, goes up. Katuv Bahadlaka Leshan Aliyah. That's why lighting the candles is not called lighting the candles here. It's called raising up. You have to light the candles until the flame goes up on its own. In other words, that the flame touches every side of the wick. Sometimes you can light candles, like on Shabbos, it touches a little bit, that's enough. It goes on its own. No, here you have to leave it there until the whole wick is actually burning to its maximum. And also our rabbis learned another thing. When you go up, going up to the candles. One means you have to make the flames go up, and the other one means that you have to go up. What does it mean you have to go up? There were steps before the menorah. That the Kohen had to go up, and to prepare the candles, and he would light them. El mul penei menorah. It says you should make these candles light facing the middle candle. El mul penei. That's the penei. El mul nera emsa'i means facing the middle candle. She'eno bekanim. It is not one of the branches. Eluguf shemenorah. Right. Again, how did the menorah look? It was a branch, and there were 3 stems coming out this way at slanted, and these way also coming out slanted, straight at what is it called? Alaksan. It's how do you say it in English? At a slant. Yes, a slant. Anyway, they're coming out straight from 3 sides, like the picture that I showed you. Right, here's this picture. There it is. That's how it's supposed to look. Ya'iru shivat hanerot, there should be lit the 7 candles. Shisha sha'al shisha kanim, 6 candles that are on the 6 branches that go out. Shlosha mizrachim, 3 on the east. Putting the mula emtsoi patilot shabayam, that the wicks are pointing toward the middle, like I showed you, and the 3 that are on the west, the same thing, pointing this way. Okay, the Rambam, interestingly, has a little bit different way of doing it. And he says that when you went in to the holy, and the coin would go in. So there was the bread, the face bread on the right side, and there was this little golden altar in the middle, and there was the menorah on the left. Everybody agrees with that. Now, which way was the menorah facing? According to Rashi and a lot of others, the menorah was facing like this. And it was running this way. But according to Rambam, it was facing like this. So you'd go in and you'd see the menorah, the branches were like this. And according to Rashi, they were like this. But you would come in, and the menorah was facing in the direction you were going in. According to him, it wasn't. Okay, good. Lama, why were they all facing the middle? Why were they facing the middle? Lama, kedei, in order, shelo yomru, that people should not say, lo'ora hi tzorich. The reason people should not say that the menorah had a practical purpose. It had no practical or physically practical purpose. Its purpose was purely spiritual. But it was spiritual. What does it mean? It made the whole world spiritual. It says it shined out from the menorah, shined out through the whole entire world. So let's just do two more sentences. Sentence Gimel, Vayaz Kain Aaron, that Aaron did what he was told. Lagid, this tells you, Shivcho Shel Aaron, the praise of Aaron, Shalo Shina, he did not change. He did exactly what God said. What did he do? In the end, he didn't do very much. It says that the menorah was made on its own. We just finished learning, right? Menorah. It was made on its own. What did Aaron do? So it's exactly that. He knew that the Aaron had to be that the menorah had to be made on its own, but he knew that he had to do something in order to start it, because that's what God wants. God wants us to do something, and then God does the rest. But we have to do the something ourselves. In other words, we have to do the whole thing on our own. And after we finish, we'll realize that we really didn't do anything. It was all God doing it. But we have to do whatever we can on our own. So that's what Aaron did. Aaron knew that he had to do whatever he can. He threw into the fire. That's it. He came out. Okay, let's do two more. Here it says, Zem Masa Menorah. Zem Masa Menorah. Let's look Dalid. Shaharau Kodesh Baruch Hu, that God showed with his finger. Zeh, this. Lefisha Nitkashabo, because Aaron had a big problem how to make it. Therefore, he said, Zed, this is what it is. This is what you should make. Or actually, Moshe was the one who made it. Let's skip a little bit, okay? Can we? No? It says from the top to the bottom. Let's go right to the end of sentence Dalid. I'll read sentence Dalid in the Hebrew, and we'll go to the end of Rashi. V'zem ma'aseh menorah. This is the way to make the menorah. Miksha zahav. It was one piece of gold. Ad yurecha ad pircha. From the most dense part of it to the finest part of it. Miksha hi. It is one piece. Kamar asher her'a Hashem el Moshe. Just like God showed Moshe on the mountain. Kain asa. So you should make the menorah. Let's go down to the bottom here. Kamar asher her'a. See where we are? Kamar asher her'a. Let's see. There we go. Yes. No. There we go. Yeah. Kamar asher her'a. Let's see. Can I also do this? Oh yeah. Huh? I can be the boss over here? No. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Kamar Rashi says, Kamar asher her'a. Ketavnit, like the shape, asher hero bahar, like God showed Moshe on Mount Sinai. Like it says, Ura'ev aseh ketavnisam. You should see and you should make. When Moshe was on Mount Sinai, he was there for 40 days. When he was there for 40 days, so Hashem showed him a lot of things when he was up there on Mount Sinai. He explained every sentence in the Torah. And this is one of the things he explained them. Finally, it says, V'kein asat menorah. So should be made the menorah. Mi sha'asa, who did make it? Whoever made it should make it like this. And the Midrash says, Al Yidei Kodesh Baruch Hu, that God made it, Naseh me'aleha, that God made it on his own. So this is the menorah that was made, the Holy Temple. Who made it? God made it. And so it's going to be also in the third temple that God is going to make all of the temple itself and all of the vessels. Good. Now let us learn a a little bit of Pirkei Avot. We are now finishing the second chapter of Pirkei Avot. And we're learning about the pupils of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Now, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was a pretty amazing person. He was the pupil of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. And there were a few Shimon ben Gamliels, but he was the pupil of the Shimon ben Gamliel that was before the destruction of the temple, right before the destruction of the temple. And he became his pupil when he passed away. So Rabbi Yochanan, he was sort of the head of the Sanhedrin. And then there was Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, the next Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel that came. If you remember, we learned, maybe I'll make a chart for you the next time, anyone who cares. But Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was a pupil of Hillel. He was a pupil of Hillel. He wasn't a relative of Hillel, but he was a pupil of Hillel. And he really stood up the whole entire Torah. And like we told you the story the last time that he was there when the temple was destroyed, and he asked the general who was destroying the temple, please give me Yavne. And he also wanted one of the relatives of Hillel. Hillel was a direct descendant of King David. So after Hillel, there was Shimon, and then there was Gamliel, son of Shimon, and there was Shimon ben Gamliel, the first one. And then after that, there was another Gamliel, and then there was another Shimon ben Gamliel. That was the second one. So the first Shimon ben Gamliel, he was right around when this temple was destroyed. And the second one, that was after the temple was destroyed. And then after that, he was, what do we say? He was the father of Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. He was a Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. Okay, in the middle of this whole business came along Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he sort of held the whole thing together. So he was there when this temple was destroyed, and he was taken out to this general that he said to the general, let the representative of King David, let him live, and give me the town of Yavne. So Rabbi Gamliel, let's look and see Rabbi Gamliel. I think we did this last time, but we'll do it again. Let's go. Rabbi Yochanan, which Mishnah are we on? We are on a long Mishnah. It's Mishnah number 5. So let's take it from the beginning. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he received from Hillel and Shammai. So this is going back a little bit in time order. Hu haya omer, he used to say, Im lamadat Torah harba, if you learned a lot of Torah, al tachzik tov al, don't think there's coming to you a big prize. Ki lekach notzarta, that's why you were created. It's like if somebody loans you $1,000 and you pay him back, you say to the person, aren't you going to give me a present? I paid you back. What are you talking about? I loaned you $1,000 and you gave it back to me. That's all. I have to pay you. But I have to pay you. You should be happy I paid you back. But I don't pay everybody back. Usually I'm a thief. I steal from everybody, and you don't know how lucky you are that I paid you back. The person will say, thanks a lot, but this is the last time you're going to get anything from me. Here God is giving us to it all the time. Is giving, just giving. Giving. And do we pay him back? So he says, how are we supposed to pay him back? By learning Torah. He says, but if you do pay him back by learning Torah, you should know, first of all, you're only paying him back a fraction of what you owe him. And second of all, don't think you're doing God a big favor, because he's doing you a much bigger favor by keeping you alive, etc. So therefore, if you learn Torah, first of all, learning Torah is fun. And learning Torah is wonderful, and you're connecting to Hashem, and you, in fact, do make Hashem happy when you learn Torah, because it's very unusual for people to do what they're supposed to do. But when you do what you're supposed to do, don't think you won't get rewarded. You'll get rewarded, but don't expect a reward. Don't expect a reward. You'll get rewarded, you go to heaven, you get anything you want, right? But don't expect it. Don't expect it. And the more you expect it, the less happy you're going to be. You're thinking about my reward, I'm such a great person, or how is God going to find a big enough reward for me, right? It says, if you're learning Torah, don't hold any benefit to yourself, because God doesn't owe you anything. That's why you were created. You're being created. Okay, let's go. We learned that last time, I think. Let's go. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 pupils. Who are these 5 pupils? Excuse me. Elohim. These are the 5 pupils of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Actually, I could tell you stories about all these 5 people. It's pretty amazing. But let's learn some of the Mishnahs first. Maybe I'll go over and tell you stories. Sorry, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, how he was so self-sacrificing to learn Torah, that he wanted to learn Torah. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen. And Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel. That's pretty good. That's 4 of them. Who are the 4? Let's see. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, and Rabbi Shimon ben Natanel. And Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch. We'll see that Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch, he was the greatest of all. We'll see in a second. Hu haya moneh shevachim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he would praise them. Each one had a different praise. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, boir sud, like a pit that is, how do you say, coated with cement or whatever. She'enu mabed tipa. It does not lose 1 drop. Whatever you put in, it stays there. Same thing with him. You put Torah into him. Whatever you put in, he remembered everything perfect. Rabbi Yeshua, what do we have? Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Ashrei Yoladato. Happy is the one who gave birth to him. In other words, happy is a mother. If you had a child like that, you would be a happy mother. Ashrei Yoladato. Happy is the one who gave birth to him. We'll see what this means. That was who? Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Happy is the one who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, that's the 3rd one, 3 of the 5th. Chassid. He's a Chassid. What's a Chassid mean? You'll see. Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, Yireh Chet. He feared sin. Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch. And what about Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch, the greatest of them all? Mayan HaMizkaber. He is a wellspring that gets stronger and stronger all the time. Hu haya omer. He used to say, Im hayu kol chachmei Yisrael, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai would say, if all of the wise men of Israel, bekaf moznayim, were in a, what do you call a scale? But Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, all of them were here, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, he was on the 2nd, on the other side. Machriat kulam. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus was as great, in fact, greater than all of the other wise men in Israel. That's pretty good. Abba Shaul Omar Bishmo, but Abba Shaul said that he heard Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai say, you call Chachmei Yisrael, if all the wise men of Israel, all of the Talmidei Chachamim were Bekaf Moznayim, were in one side of the scales. The Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus Afi Mohim, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, he was with them. For sure, it would weigh down. Nothing's on the other side. And Rabbi Eliezer ben Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus was with him. Then that would be all the righteousnesses of the Israel. Who's left? Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch. If Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch was on the other side, Machriyat Kulam. And it was, what does it mean? That Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said that all of the wise men of Israel would have been weighed down, the greatness of them would be weighed down by Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. And if you would put Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus with them, in other words, they would at least twice as much merits as they would have alone. Here we say he outweighed them. You put Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus with them, as Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch, and this he would outweigh twice as much, and he was worth twice as much as Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He would outweigh the whole bunch of them, weighed them all down. Okay, let's look and see what this means. What is he talking about? What is he? He said that one of them was a pit that was a plastered pit that doesn't lose any water. It's pretty good. What does it mean though? Rabbi Yeshua, he said, happy is the one who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi was a Chassid. Rabbi Shimon ben Hassan was a feared sin. And Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch is a wellspring that keeps getting stronger and stronger. What are these praises? What do they mean? Huh? What does it mean? A pit that doesn't lose any water, and happy is his mother, and this was a chassid, and this was a fury of sin. And this one is a wellspring that keeps getting stronger and stronger. What does it mean? Let's see. Okay, let's go back to the Mishnah of the Kahati. Chamisha Talmidim Ayulu Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. There were 5 pupils to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. The Elohim, and these Mu'ulim Shebetalmidim Harabim. These are the best of the many, many pupils that he had. These are the best 5 of his pupils. Elohim, these are the pupils. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, who Rabbi Eliezer Stam Sheba Mishnah. Anytime you see a Rabbi Eliezer in the Mishnah, this is Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Are you with me, by the way? Have you got Sforim yourselves? Do you have books, any of you? Are you any of you?
No, we with you, Rob. I haven't got, but we with you.
Yeah, but it's much better if everybody has the text. No one has any texts, huh? All right. Let's see, did I give him the... Yeah. All right. It's better if everybody has the text, but okay. These are the pupils of Rabbi Elazar, of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. First of all, Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus. This is Rabbi Eliezer Stam. Anytime you see in a Mishnah it says Rabbi Eliezer says it's always Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. You have Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Anytime there's a Mishnah, and in the Mishnah of the Gemara it says Rabbi Yeshua, it's always Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. He's always the one that argues with Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, and they had this big argument where Rabbi Yeshua got kicked out of the... There we go, wonderful. He got kicked out of the thing with the Tanur Achnai. He had a big argument about a stove if it becomes pure, unpure. Rabbi Yossi Cohen. So Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus and Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, they're always arguing one with the other in the Gemara. And Rabbi Yossi Cohen and Rabbi Shimon ben Sanel and Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. Chamisha Elu, these 5, says the, let's see where we are, can we get this? Oh. I see, so I'm sort of controlling this, huh? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway. He would praise them. Oh, sorry. Let's go down to the explanation. Very good. Further, please. You have to go further down. More. That was the introduction. This is all a big, beautiful introduction that this Rabbi Pinchas Kahati writes. But further, you have to go further. There we go. Further. Wonderful. There we go. There, that's it. He would enumerate their praises. The Meiri and the Rashba, who Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he would count their praises, enumerate their praises. What does it mean, the praises? Haya mitzayen skulaso, he would note down the specialness, hamiyucheres, from each and every one of them. Okay, Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus. Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus is called a boyer sud, a pit that is line that says cemented or word plastered, she'enu mabed tipa, that it doesn't lose even a drop. Kabor, like a hole, tuach basid, that is smeared with plaster. She'enu mabed klum, it does not lose any of the wine or the water that's put into it. Kach Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, same thing Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, everything he learned, einu shochech davar mitalmudo, he never forgot anything of his learning. Rabbi Yeshua, what did he say about Rabbi Yeshua? Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Ashrei Yoladato, happy is the one who gave birth to him. What type of a praise is that? Rav Yoshua mechunan b'midot nalot. Rabbi Yoshua was blessed with very excellent personality. Character traits. He had beautiful, beautiful character traits. Achakol olam meshabchim et imo. Everyone would praise his mother. And they would say, Ashrei ha'em, happy is the mother, she yolda ben kazeh, that gave birth to such a son. Some people say, molicha et the risato. His mother would take his bed, the Beit Midrash, to the place of learning, bishvil, in order, sheyadabku oznav b'divrei Torah, so that his ears would become accustomed to hear the words of Torah. Ubazeh garma, and in this she caused, sheyu divrei Torah, the words of Torah, niklatim benafsho, that the words of Torah would be in his heart, in his soul, bikadnuso, from youth. Ma'adanim et rucho, and this would refine his spirit, the words of Torah. That was Rabbi Hanania, that was Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, so his teacher, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, said that Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, he is a Chassid. What is a Chassid? A Chassid is a person who does more than what is expected of him. Shemitna'eg lifnim mishurat hadin, that he conducts himself more than what the law requires. Avot the Rabbi Natan, there's a book called Avot the Rabbi Natan. It says Yossi HaKohen, he was the biggest chassid of the generation. He was the one that really served God. He had any doubts that God exists, look at Rabbi Yeshua, and Rabbi Yossi, the way he acted, you'd see for sure God exists. There was not in his whole generation anyone who was devoted to God in a happy way like he was. Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel would say he feared sin. Okay, so who do we have so far? We have Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus. We said he was like a pit that was plastered, didn't lose any of its learning. Anything that he heard, remembered, anything good, he remembered it immediately. We had Rabbi Yeshua. We said happy is the one who gave birth to him because he had such a beautiful personality. Rabbi Yossi, he was a chassid because everyone said that he was the outstanding servant of God in his generation. Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, yirei chet, he feared sin. Machmir liyadei chet. He was very, very, I'm sorry, I skipped the line. Machmir alatzmo, he was very, very strict with himself. And he made all sorts of restrictions on himself, even permissible things. Why? Why did he do that? Because he was afraid that maybe he might come to do a sin. So he wouldn't even come near anything that was even reminiscent in any way of going against what God wanted. Finally, we have what we call the greatest of all the pupils. That's Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. And what did Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai say about him? Mayana mitkaber, that he was a wellspring that got stronger and stronger. Baal seichel charif, he possessed a very sharp mind, the Havana Amuka, and deep understanding. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, Mevin davar mitoch davar, that everything he heard, he would understand something deep within that thing. Umosif al mashal amad rabo, and he would add on to what his teacher taught him. Ki ma'ayan shememav mitkabrim, like a wellspring whose waters increase and become brand new always. Okay, who would Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai say? If all of the wise men of Israel were in one side of the scales, and Elazar ben Hyrcanus was on the other side, he would outweigh all of them. Kolomar, im nishkol et skulato. If you could weigh the specialness, the uniqueness of Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, namely the amazing power of memory that he had, ubikioto, and because he was so expert in all of the Torah, in everything that he learned, kaneged skulatam, if you would weigh that against all of the uniqueness of each and every one of the wise men of Israel, thousands of people, Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, he would be worth all of them, so to speak. Shekain omru, like it says, hakol tzirichim lamari chitin, everyone needs those who store wheat. In other words, the people who have all the facts about every detail of the Torah down. The Balachit, and the people who have lomdim, all of the learning of the Torah, were expert in what they have. Nowadays, we have Google, we have all these other things. So you have a question, you'd Google. Back then, they didn't have that. You had to ask somebody, but now it's even more. Google hasn't got any sense to it. You ask it a question, it answers what's there. You ask a person who really knows the answer, as he'll give you more information than you even asked for. But he'll say, I see that what you're really interested in is this, and he'll tell you a whole history around it and a whole this, and he'll arouse your interest. That's what Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus did. Okay, but Abba Shaul said that there was somebody greater than Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus. Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus had all the information in the Torah, he knew everything. But Abba Shaul said that Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch was greater. He said, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that if all of the pupils, all of the wise men of Israel, including Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, were in one side of the scales, and Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch was on the other, Kav Shnia, Oznayin, he would outweigh all of them. Why? Shecharifet yeter mebekiyut. Because he knew everything, but he was also very sharp. He was very sharp, and he could arouse things in your mind that you would never understand before. He was more than a scholar. He was more than a scholar. He would bring up new questions and new ideas. And some people say that Abba Shaul, he wasn't disagreeing with the first. He was talking about two different things. Both of them are true. If you want to talk about expertise and knowledge and memory, that was Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus. He was the greatest. But if you're talking about who was sharp and who knew how to get into every single detail of what there was, and to ask questions from here and other questions so you would understand things you never understood before, that was Elazar ben Aruch, and both of them had their own uniqueness. But in some ways, the uniqueness of Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch was even greater because he woke everybody up. He made everybody interested and asked more questions about the Torah, as we'll continue, God willing, tomorrow.